So I've been doing short sales for 15 years, since 2005. I know Jessica's going to tell us a little bit about her story, her venture, and how she became a broker, how she's become a coach, definitely a mentor, to other people out there. She's really amazing. She's been in real estate since 1997. She's done property management, landlord tenant. Uh, Obviously, she does real estate closings. She was in mortgages 2009. Real estate license since 2012. Being a real estate broker, corporate real estate, and then at the end of 2015, she actually opened up her first office. I don't know if she's going to open up other offices, but not the one office in place. And it was good to follow somebody else that's on social media that is an influencer, that understands the market. And I pick and choose the people that I have come on, and I interview because I think that they're one, an influencer in the real estate market. Two, there's somebody that's been around in the industry and they keep relevant. Where there's a lot of people in the real estate market, especially now, and we'll talk about it later, with social media, they're not using social media. They're so completely old school. And in my opinion, I really feel in the next 6 to 12 months that if people don't get with the program and use social media, some type of platform, they're going to become irrelevant. So without further ado, Jessica Rojas, if somebody right now is looking to jump ship from where they are right now, are you hiring at all?
Absolutely. We're absolutely hiring. I'm always looking for those agents that are ready to really give themselves and their business 110%. I'm a Tom Ferry coach. I'm a business coach. So that's something that I do with a lot of agents internationally, And so being able to do that is truly one of my passions, is to help people find what makes sense for them and themselves, their lifestyle, and their business. And going back to that family atmosphere, I'm always going to refer back to my mom. She was in business for pretty much 50 years. And she taught me that. She taught me that if you're going to create a company, you want to provide value. You really want to be able to have that environment, not only for your clients, but for the people who are working with you, right? You have to really appreciate and value the people working with you. And so we have an amazing group. I mean, they're just, I will always talk highly about the agents that are here.
So you do something very similar to what I do, right? Whereas somebody that works with me, they don't work for me.
Right.
And that is so important in business, that people have a sense of ownership, even though they're not an owner, that they're respected by their peers and obviously by, their leader. I don't like to say boss. I'm a leader. I'm a team leader, whatever it is. I do training for, obviously myself. I train individual real estate agents. I do, corporate training for real estate offices. People are going to start seeing my face a lot more now, I would think. I do stuff national, but I'm actually getting asked to be, on mastermind calls now, on
Nice.
Zoom calls, which is great.
Absolutely.
So people like you and myself, we like to educate people and bring people up. There's just so many people in this industry that want to push people down because they don't want them to succeed, which I have to tell you, when you have that type of mindset, you may make a lot of money, but you're not going to be successful, and doors are not going to open up for you. So there's a reason why I wanted you to come on, because I wanted people to see, the type of industry leaders that I'm working with, not only interviewing. You and I are obviously planning, for the next hiccup in the market. We're both ready. Tell people a little bit about your background as far as short sales, and tell them about, I think there was a short sale that you just closed.
Yes. So I started with short sales in 2009. It was my very first transaction, which is crazy because typically no one wants to start with a short sale transaction. But I remember back then my manager said, contact your sphere. There was no Facebook, literally my black book. Started calling people, and I had someone that was close to me who said, yeah, I have to, sell my house. It's going to be a short sale. I'm like, absolutely not a problem. Meet with you tonight. And hang up that call, and I go back to my manager. I'm like, what's a short sale? what is this? And he's like, okay, this is what you need to do. And he gave me good guidance. He was like, go on this webinar with this attorney, print out these documents. I printed out all the documents needed for a short sale, right? Go on this. I mean, I literally prepped all day and had all my paperwork ready. And so, he's like, you need me to go with you? I'm like, no, I'm good. I'm going to go. I'm going to follow these steps. I had my outlines. I've always been big with checklists and outlines and, making sure I have all the right information. And so that was my very first short sale. And, it took a while. It took a while to do. And depending, even now, this short sale that I just closed on, you know what? This is the reason why when I started this business that it gave me opportunity, because so many people were like, I don't want to deal with this, right? I don't want to wait to get paid. I don't want it to take too long. I don't want to deal with the hassle of the paperwork. And I was a paralegal, so the paperwork didn't scare me. The checklist and staying on top of everything didn't scare me. But this is the reason why you and I are teaming up, because you know what? It makes so much sense. Yes, as an agent, you can do it, but you need to work smarter, right? You definitely need to work smarter. And if you have good systems in place, such as RRG, you want to be able to say, hey, I got a new client. We have a good system going. Here we go. Handle it. And let me know what you need. I mean, you still have to facilitate that closing, right? You still have to stay on top of things. But at the end of the day, you have a good team in place, right? And like I said, from the very first in 2009 till now, I mean, I ended up doing campaigns and just letting agents know, hey, if you don't want to deal with this, I will. And I got my first year about 15 short sales sent my way, simply because it was like, listen, I'd rather pay a referral than deal with this.
That's the other thing, too, that people don't understand the concept. So, and this isn't about my company, but this is important to mention this. My company doesn't get paid by the real estate agents. My company gets paid by the buyer.
Correct.
So if you're a real estate agent and you have a lead or a prospective lead and you want to give it to somebody like Jessica, Jessica pays you a referral fee. She takes on the work. Mm-hmm. And my company, I mean, we went over it. My company's doing like 93% of the work. You know what the process is. You understand how the process is. Can you agree or disagree? Would you say that 9 out of 10 real estate agents shy away from doing short sales?
100%. 100%. Back then and now. Now people are getting used to it. More people are open to it, where back then they just weren't. They were like, listen, I don't even want to be bothered. They would see it on a listing and they're like, forget it, because the truth is, back then we didn't know how long it was going to take. Sometimes it took a lot longer than others. This last particular short sale, I'll be honest with you, took 2 years. And the reason why it took 2 years, I mean, there was tenants involved there were squatters involved. There was so much so many moving parts, right? But guess what, man? When I spoke to my client and finally, and this is someone who lost her husband, okay, during Maria in Puerto Rico. She's a widow. She's on Social Security. She has no additional income. And she was so grateful. I mean, pretty much in tears, her family, for having this closure, this burden off of her. Yeah. It's so fulfilling. I mean, I don't mean to sound corny, but it really makes a difference to help people that are in that difficult situation. And it was great. It was a great team. I mean, I got to tell you, the attorney that was in it was on it. Roberto Kwan, I'm going to shout him out because he did such an amazing job.
He's all right.
He did an amazing job. Let me tell you, he had to go to court for that squatter.
I'm actually going to have Roberto on one of my lives.
Yeah. And it's important to have we've talked about this, a good circle of people working with you,
Example. You didn't know that I'm actually friendly with him. You didn't know that. So, I mean, there's a perfect example. Listen, you want to work with people that are going to bring you up, not bring you down. And you mentioned it. You want to work smarter. I say all the time, you want to work smarter, not harder. Now, I say people before profit, but you say?
Purpose before profit, right?